Click the link to join channel here over at Subscribestar. So, aren't you tired of being slaves to this woke globalist NGOs run by these soy boy commies? The woke mind virus. There's no opt out allowed. So, what happened? Video games come out, and I hear that it is kind of buggy, but that's not really the issue here. It has a touch of cancer to it by way of some woke pronouns, which is annoying people because it doesn't make sense. Pronouns are by sex, and no, it's not assigned at birth. It's simply described at birth. I feel like that should be obvious to most. Assigned. It's like, no, it's not. Why are you saying something that's not true? Oh, well, we feel. Yeah, but what you feel is an objective reality. They simply look at the external genitalia and describe what you are, and that's what you are. So, all this cultural Bolshevism is nonsense, and more people just need to start speaking up against this kind of stuff and take your head out of the sand a little bit. There are only two sexes. Gender is derived from sex. The stuff they're pushing is a lie. It's important to not accept these small absurdities because atrocities are on the way. Oh, wait, they're all actually happening. The sacrifices to Moloch are occurring now. I mean, what's worse than removing your next of kin's ability to reproduce? Listen, bigot, it's affirming care. So this kind of weird that 20 years ago, this industry was almost non-existent. Maybe it was reconstructive surgery, that kind of thing. But so in 20 years, you got a multi-billion-dollar industry, and the doctors are buying new Porsches. Yeah, that's right, bigot. That's right. Okay, so, first do no harm. Herodontus or Heraclides or whatever. I'm trying to sound smart. It's not coming off. The guy with the barbershop pole and the snakes. First, do no harm. I think you're doing harm to these kids. Yikes, my guy. It's not your kids. Just let them do what they want to do. Yeah, but that kind of philosophy of like just does that let people do what they want to do? Does that work both ways? It doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to work both ways. Yeah, we're going to homeschool and set up like small private communities. Oh, no, you can't do that. That's like, no, you can't be outside of our control. Because that's kind of what this whole thing boils down to, isn't it? Like, yeah, can we just set up our own little communities and teach kids what we wish? And as long as they pass standardized tests or whatever, it's fine. No, they have to be under centralized authoritarian control of Weingarten at the teachers union, that kind of thing. It's like, nah, I think we need to have to start decentralizing things and being outside of the control of these Mayorkases and Garlands. So no, it's a nightmare hellscape that you're going to look back on in 20 years as the period when these parents gave in to this brainwashing campaign. Magnus Hirschfeld would be proud, looking up from hell. The American leftists managed to beat Weimar. Congratulations, you convinced parents to voluntarily turn their kids into catamites. That's a level of hell unfathomable 20 years ago. Unimaginable 40 years ago. What's just staring into the abyss? I'm like, even the abyss is shocked at this. What's the big deal? It's pronouns in a game. Because it's a lie? How about that? It's all a lie. It's, the meme of the little Apu frog looking at a crowd of NPCs and going like, yeah, you're all wrong and I'm correct. But there's thousands of people against you. Yeah, but you're still all wrong. Just being in a crowd and reinforcing your own views, it doesn't make you right. I'm still right and you're all wrong. And I'll say that if it's me against the whole world. It's a lie. You accept little lies slowly. Next thing you know, California will kidnap your children from you if you don't accept their pronouns. Oh, wait, that's all actually happening. The bill before Newsom right now. All because people didn't fight hard against this from the start, because if you did, you got kicked off social media. Well, then, shouldn't you have free speech de jure on social media? Because if it's the new town square, to not have free speech there is ridiculous. It would render the First Amendment meaningless. I mean, clearly the intent of the Founding Fathers for free speech is so free speech, assembly, religion, press, redress of grievance is so critical. It's like the 5 subclauses of the First Amendment. Well, we can suspend it in times of emergency. Was a governor of New Mexico. No, you can't. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says you can do that. The sheriff probably should have arrested her. To say she's going to do it is one thing, but as soon as she passes it, the sheriff is, I think, the highest law of the state. should arrest her as soon as that thing gets passed. And I was like, you can't suspend the Constitution, Governor. The First and Second Amendment. It's like people go like the Constitution. It's just a piece of paper unless you want to defend it. It's not magic. There's no magic dirt. There's no magic paper. It's like it takes people to defend it. Anyway, so people didn't want to bother fighting for free speech. It just wasn't that important. It affected other people. It's just other people's kids. If you let all this stuff go, then you end up where we are now, where you can't even raise a resistance to this because you don't have a platform, or the media will hunt you down, dox you. The banks will close your accounts, and you and your spouse will be fired. They've already conquered the infrastructure. Where and how are you going to fight back unless you have laws preventing banks and companies from firing you or discriminating against you for your political views? You can't rent hotels or airlines or rental cars. You'll get put on a no-fly list. You're not free to speak on mainstream social media platforms. You don't have credit cards. Doesn't anyone think that's a bit too far, and we should have some like protections for that? Like, you pay taxes to be represented by these representatives, and they're not representing you. Like, seriously, there's gotta, until more people are concerned about this, nothing changes. Don't people want free speech without fearing the media destroying their lives? What's the point of taxation if they don't protect our rights? Oh, so Nancy Pelosi can be worth $300 million. That's also kind of weird that nobody questions that. The media and Congress ignore it like the Epstein client list. Anyway, so this game lets you use the wrong pronouns, and mods come along and change it. They also did one where they changed the NPCs from pox to people of the light, and that also outraged the bullshit kids for some reason. But why do they care what other people do in their game? Because soy people want to control you. They have to censor and deplatform because they have bad ideas. If you have good ideas, you want them out in that open marketplace. If you have bad ideas, you don't want opposition because your bad ideas are so bad they can't be defended. The pronoun thing is actually an important shift in the left because it goes from a non-aggression concept to a aggressive concept of compelling speech through force. They've gone mask off and show that they're the authoritarians who will force you to say things that you wish not to, or that your conscience does not agree with, or you don't believe in. Ask them, so with the pronoun things, I'm going to use the biologically accurate ones because it's a lie to do otherwise. Do you support my right to free speech, or will you compel my speech by force? The left now will use force to compel speech. The California bill is actually happening. Their ideas are so good that they'll send men with guns to your house to enforce them and murder you if they can't kidnap your children. That's all actually happening right now, and this stuff's all related because it's all these little baby steps they take along the way, and if you don't push back against the small stuff, they just keep taking to the point where we are now with, the Scott Wiener California State Senate decriminalizing certain relationships with children. Or the kidnapping of your... So that whole Canada thing, that was a big rigmarole. It turned out to be like these mass graves turned out to be a total lie. Because the state was kidnapping children to educate these kids. That was, what a great evil. So but California's going to do the same thing right now? Oh, it's different when we do it. Okay. What do you want me to say? Form local hiking clubs and spiritual centers, that kind of thing. Because, good luck voting your way out of this one, huh? Like, comment, subscribe. Support me over on Subscribestar so I can start a militia in Idaho if I get a few $1 million. I mean, a spiritual retreat center with a lot of meditation. Anyway, I'll see you guys all next episode.